Today we're going to take basic class on EC2 and Docker, how to set up Docker. So let's first understand how we can use start an EC2 server. So before starting, let's first know what is EC2. EC2 means Elastic Computing Cloud. This is just AWS's naming convention. But remember one thing, today I am showing you how to create a server using EC2. But the knowledge I am sharing you is not just limited to EC2. With this knowledge, you can create server in anywhere like Google Cloud or Oracle Cloud or Azure Cloud or DigitalOcean anywhere. Basic concept is same. Maybe the user flow or UI is a little bit different. Okay, so where was I? With this knowledge, you can any service provider to create a server. Okay, so let's start with the AWS. So at first you have to log into AWS console, and then one important thing that everyone misses, that is the server location. This is very important, but everyone misses this. When you are creating a server or any service in AWS, please choose your desired server location from here. Currently, I have selected the Seoul, which is in Asia Pacific. So after selecting the server, I will go to the EC2 section. If you cannot find the EC2 here, you can use the search bar on the top and go to EC2 directly from the search bar. Okay, so you can see I have currently two instances running, and there are other things here. This is just a basic dashboard. So to create an instance, you have to go to the instances. Okay. From here, you can see your all of the running instance and other data of those instance. So let's first start an instance. We're just going to click the launch instance from here. Okay. So this is the main form of creating instance. There are lots of options here, but don't get overwhelmed with that. We're gonna go one by one. At first, there is a name. You can choose select one name. Let's say test server, or let's give a proper name like um, work adventure, because I am going to host a service in this server. That's why I am naming it work adventure. Next, I'm going to choose a image. That means an operating system. There are many operating systems. Here is macOS, Ubuntu, Windows. But remember, choosing an operating system can affect your cost, because some operating system is much costlier than others. But normally we use Ubuntu or Debian, either one of that. This is the normally we use. But with a special use case, we can choose other server as well. For this tutorial, let's choose Debian, because in our company we mostly use Debian.
Also, I want to add something. Debian is basically Linux-based operating system which is Ubuntu or other but Debian is more clean. Like for Ubuntu, there are few software installed, but for Debian, it's clean. So you have to install what you need. Rest of the thing don't we don't need. So we will go for
Okay.
Debian.
So basically, Ubuntu is actually based on Debian. So Debian is actually mother of Ubuntu, you can say. So or father of Ubuntu or parent. And don't attach any gender. Debian actually parent of Ubuntu. Okay. So after that, we have to show the machine image. So what is machine image? uh, this is actually volume. So there can be multiple version of an operating system. Since we choose Debian, there is only one version of Debian, Debian 12. That's why there isn't any other option. Next, there is architecture. So there are two types of CPU. One is ARM based and other is x86. Uh, One example I can give is ARM is like Mac M1 chip is ARM based and Intel is x86 based. This is just architecture, CPU architecture, nothing else. But by choosing this, it will affect in the future. So let's choose x86 for now. Then you have to remember this username. This is admin for Debian. Okay, so this is one of the most important thing of choosing an instance, creating an instance from EC2 or AWS. The instance type. This is actually the configuration you are buying from AWS. So by default, it is T2 micro, and there are you can see it has 1 virtual CPU and 1 GB of memory, and it has free trial available. And after the free trial has expired, you can see how much price you will have to pay for each operating system. You can see for Ubuntu you have to pay this much. For Red Hat Linux you have to pay this much. For Linux you have to pay this much. Basically, Linux means Debian and Windows and etc etc. So this is actually the configuration you're choosing for your server. There are some high configuration like 96 GB, 192 GB RAM. This is actually RAM. Uh, I saw one like 4000 GB, almost 4 terabyte of RAM. One server can have. This one has 1 terabyte of RAM. So see, it is very much costly. $14 per hour. So you have to choose based on your uh, criteria. For now, we are just going to choose the 1 virtual CPU and 1 GB memory, which is T2 micro. T2, T3, T4, this is actually the family of, uh, see, there are multiple T2, T3, T4. These are the family of server, and this is the, what can I say? This is some naming convention, micro, small, medium. Okay. So I'm going to choose T2 micro for now. Then another important thing is choosing key pair. This is like your key, actually the username and password for login into our server. So since we are learning from beginning, let's create a new key pair. Here I am going to give a name, test. Uh, let's say tutorial. And there are two key pair type, RSA and ED25519. This is the updated version. So we are going to just choose this. And there is a file format. We are just going to use PEM because we are going to access it with terminal. Okay, so we are just going to create key pair. We can use other service also for creating key pair, but we're just going to use AWS itself. And as you can see, one file has downloaded. So we'll look into that later. After creating the key pair, you can see the key pair is automatically selected here. Okay. Then there are network setting. This is a vast topic, which is a topic for another day. But for now, let's just stick to the default. But remember, don't uncheck this, because if you uncheck this, you cannot log into this server. This is just allowing SSH traffic from anywhere. That means anyone can log into the server. You can, of course, limit who can log in or who cannot with the IP, is static IP. But since we are Goribs, we don't use in static IP. That's why we're just going to use anywhere. Also, there are other things like allow HTTPS traffic from internet. Do you want to allow HTTP traffic from internet? So for now, let's just allow all of them. Okay. Then this is the storage. How much storage we want? By default, it has 8 GB, but as a free tier, we can use at minimum 30 GB. So let's use all of that 30 GB. Okay. So there are some advanced things. We aren't going to go. We are not going to go in detail with that because we don't need those. Uh, okay. So next thing you will see is the number of instance. If you add more thing, multiple instance will be created with the same configuration. But since we are just creating one, we're just keeping it as one. Then we're clicking launch instance. So it will take some time to create the instance. Okay, successful initiated launch of instance. So if we go to the instance, you can see it is now running, but it is still initializing. That means it isn't ready. If we click on the checkbox, we can see the details of that instance. For instance, the one thing you can see is it has a public IP assigned. This is how we are going to access this server. But remember one thing, this IP is not static. That means if somehow we restart this server, this IP will change. So that is a problem for us. So to tackle that problem, we are going to buy an IP from AWS. So the IP is calling the Elastic IP. How we are going to buy the Elastic IP? You can just search on the left side of the left menu. Here is the Elastic IP under network and security. Just go in the Elastic IP section, and here we're just going to allocate Elastic IP address. That means we're going to just buy an Elastic IP mainly. Okay. So again, please note the server if you are on the same location or not. In this case, we are still on the same location. Okay, so let's buy the IP. We're going to just keep everything as it is. Okay, yes, keep everything as it is and then allocate. So we have given a new IP, which is 336, mainly this. We're just going to rename it so that it will be helpful us to remember, which is work adventure IP. Okay, save. So we got the IP, but this IP is still not connected to the instance we have created. So to connect this IP with that instance, you just have to click here, then action, associate Elastic IP, or we can just directly click here. So let's directly click here. And from here, we can choose instance or network interface. Since we are not covering network interface in this video, we're just going to select instance. Then from here, we can choose the instance we have created. See, the work adventure is here. Select instance, and here choose the private IP address. Private address. Okay, select this. And then we can check this or uncheck this. If we check this, this IP can be reassociated with other instance as well. So let's keep it checked for now. It is actually not that important. It's just a privacy feature. So let's associate. After associating this IP, the public IP of that instance will be changed to this IP 336.148.175. So elastic IP has been associated. So let's go back to the instance, and if we just wait for it to initialize, or you can create a refresh. Okay, so it has been successfully initiated, and the public IP has been changed to the elastic IP. So now we are going to log in to this server. So till now, does anyone have any question?
No.
No, bhai.
Okay. So now what I'm going to show you is very important. Um, but for that, we're gonna just open the PEM file. So we're just going to open the terminal. Okay. Terminal is dead. Okay. So our PEM file is in the tutorial for downloads folder, and the name of the file is tutorial.pem. So let's go to the download folder. Downloads. Okay. Okay. So what we are going to do is cat the PEM file. After, if we do the cat of PEM file, we can see the content of the PEM file. But remember one thing: you cannot share this content with others. So what we can do is we can just copy the content and put it somewhere safe. But for that, since the screen is recording, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a moment. Just give me a moment. We cannot share this key with the screen recording. I'm going to show you an example. Don't worry. Give me a moment. Okay, now I'm going to reshare my screen. So basically what I have done is I have get the content of the PEM file and uh, come to the s.ssh folder, which is .ssh this folder. So The location of this folder may be in different places in different operating system. But for Linux and Mac, you can just go there directly by like typing cd.ssh. And in Windows, it is mainly in the C drive and then the users directory. In the users directory, if you see, you will see the username, and under username, you will see the .ssh folder. Within that folder, you will go to that folder and create another file, which is nano, and in this case tutorial tutorial. But for now, I'm just going to show you some basic example test. For example, test, and press enter. Here you are going to paste the content you have copied from the PEM file. Let's say I paste this content. This is the content I have got from the PEM file. Then I'm going to save it by Control X, Control Y, and then enter. You can see the test file is here. But when I have stopped sharing my screen, I have created the tutorial file here with the security key. Uh, let's remove the test file since we don't need it. So the tutorial key is here. But you might wonder what is the content of the tutorial. This is something like this. Mm, SSH key generator.
Actually, maybe you have guys already seen the private key. Is there anyone who is not familiar with private key?
Okay.
Like authenticator
So
used to authenticate in two-factor authentication.
Sorry.
not like that actually.
No, this is basically the like this is the public and private key. The public key is already assigned to the
Okay. So this is the example. In the PEM file I have downloaded, if you download the PEM file, you will get these types of content in the PEM file. Okay. So from the PEM file, you will copy that content and create a file in the SSS folder with the same content. Okay. So for example, I have copied this. Let's say this is inside the PEM file. Let's say, for example, then I'm just going to nano and file name maybe secret, then paste the content, Control X, Y, enter. So file has been created as secret. Okay. Basically this will be the content of the PEM file, and this public key is already in the server. So you don't have to worry about public key, but the main thing is private key. You will never ever share this private key with others. This private key is the only thing that allows us to access the server.
like
Okay.
this will allow you to access as a root user. So you can do anything, whatever you need to do on server by using this key. So
Okay.
before
So
sharing,
we have, yes.
yeah.
So don't share the key with anyone. Okay. So we have the tutorial key setup. And now let's just connect to the EC2 server. So you may wonder how we can connect to the server. If you have any question, you can just search on the Google, or there is a option like where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The AWS itself give you the command of how to connect with the server. If you ever forget it,
To the yeah, go
like
to action button,
okay, here, sorry,
connect, go connect.
yes. Here
Yeah,
you will get the command like SSH, then I, then PEM file, admin, and the host name, or you can use the IP address that we have just assigned. So we will normally use the IP address. But remember, you have to use the username. Okay, let's go back
You
and
can
copy the IP.
use the IP address when IP is static. That means
Yes.
we have assigned the elastic IP, so you can use IP address. But if you didn't assign,
Otherwise, we can use the private DNS also.
yeah,
This is like a domain, subdomain name that provided by the AWS. So let's copy the IP address, and in the terminal, we're just going to type a command, which is SSH, then username, admin, then at the rate IP address. Not that much critical. SSH, username, at the rate, um, then hello, then is IP address, or we can also use the DNS name also. Then press enter. It will ask for the fingerprint. We're just going to write yes, enter, and we are having some error issue, right?
you
Let's
have
try
to
again.
identify the PIM file, like the private key, because there is multiple private keys, so you have to
Oh,
assign the
yes,
one
I have to assign the private key first. So let's do that.
SHS
This is
hyphen
I, then and then
the
tutorial,
name.
which is our private key, and then normally admin at the rate IP. Okay. Now we are okay. No, still we are not logged in. We have to
It's
set a
basically
permission.
Mac didn't
Chmod.
allow directly, so we have to run chmod 400.
Yes, 400 to tutorial file. We are just giving some permission to the tutorial. This is also for
Reach.
Windows. You can search. You have to change the permission of the file. Okay, let's try again. Okay, now we are connected. So at first, we're just going to run some command. Since this is a new machine and it is not updated, we're just going to sudo update and
APT update,
sudo, yes, sudo apt update and sudo
not sudo again. APT
apt
upgrade,
upgrade
not sudo. So you
upgrade. It still doesn't matter. Then we're just going to write y since we don't want to.
want any prompt to
Yes,
ask for yes or no.
no, we have to write sudo. Just going to press enter here. And everything is updated. So now we have a server. We want to exit from the server. We're just going to write the exit command. Or yes, the server is exited. And also let's connect again from the beginning. We're just going to copy the IP, go to terminal or terminal, You can use any terminal as you wish. Then we can go to the SSS folder. You don't have to go to SSS folder. You can just give the path here. SSS I, then the path of the private key, username, admin, and the IP address. Press enter, and we are logged in. So that is all for creating a server. By pressing Ctrl D, you can also log out of the server.
So this is the
Is
basic
there?
we have like Mr. Nahid have shown how to create an instance and this is the clean like this IP is a clean IP. Now nothing is into the server. This is just basically we are taking a virtual server so where we can deploy our application. To deploy our application, we have to follow the different approach and different processes. But till now, we have initially just initialize our system. Now
Yes.
we will make it ready for our application.
Okay. So then, as I've said before, the different between different service provider or server provider UI is different, but the basic is same. We bought a or we rented a Linux server from AWS. We can also rent a Linux server from Oracle. We can also rent a Linux server from
Microsoft
Linode,
Azure.
Microsoft, or DigitalOcean. There are many providers. So it does not matter where we are going to get the server from, but the basic things is same. There might be some changes in the UI or option, but the knowledge is same.
Like
You can use this knowledge anywhere.
to create a EC2, there is a few steps we have followed. For DigitalOcean, you have to follow different approach. But initially, after setting the server, the rest of the process is same. Whatever it is, if it is a Linux server, you have to follow the same approach.
Okay, so is there any more question, or we can finish the tutorial and go to the next part?
No.
Anyone?
Uh, no, nothing from my side.
Dolon or Simon?
Mm. Nothing.
No,
Nothing from my
I
side.
don't have any question.
Okay, so we can stop the recording for now.